before I leave, and I go in and see what I can find on YouTube. I've seen, oh my God, Henry II and uh, every girlfriend the kings had. Uh, I like learning about um, Napoleon. But anyway, the reason I came back on is that I was working on what we just did, and I went past something about what is it? At Liberty Mutual. This is for entertainment purposes only, and it's only my opinion. We had a lot of stuff happen with the house over the last couple of years, all kinds of weird things. But we had you have to have insurance. If you don't have insurance, you got to get insurance because if anything happens to your apartment house or your house and it burns down, if you don't have insurance, you get nothing. If people like what happened to me, a neighbor broke into my garage or had somebody break in and stole, I think, 2 boxes of artwork. And I got paid for them, which I would not. Of course, you wouldn't have. And you can't bank on the police because the police officer did come out and did, um, you know, uh, what do they call it? Um, Try to get fingerprints, which of course weren't there because this was a long time later, like a year later, because I didn't notice, and someone wanted me to exhibit one of the pieces that was in one of the boxes, and that's how I found out that it was stolen. And also, there was at least one painting on the floor that was taken. Um, why? Ugh, craziness, really craziness. A person who thought that his his idea or opinion mattered more than the law. You don't take stuff from somebody else. Okay. So all I wanted to say was that I did have Liberty Mutual insurance, and when the water came in through the front of the house, the 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 bricks had the mortar had worn away, and initially we didn't know what was going on, but a guy came in and stole money from us. It's like, because we're old people and people, thieves target old people because most of us are gullible. We're more gullible. We're easier going. Anyway, okay, so we had to deal with the thief. And then we had to deal with Liberty Mutual. So they sent in a guy. The first guy who they sent in was this very handsome guy, all dressed up. When he walked in, he sees these 2 old people, and he's like, "Oh no!" He didn't want to deal with us. He was handsome. He wanted people who would say, "Oh my God, look at this gorgeous guy. What are you doing working for an insurance company? You should be in the movies." So whatever was wrong with the floors, he didn't. I mean, he was not there for that. He was there to be gorgeous. I'm gorgeous. What do you? I'm gorgeous, and I'm an adjuster. Oh my God! So he thought some of the floor was even missing. That was fine. We're old people. We don't. Doesn't matter. Luckily, I called the company, and they sent out someone else, and that person was fine. Was a normal human being, not gorgeous and human. So he wrote it up, and we got back the money you know for what was going on. I can't read Cyrillic print. I'm really happy that you're listening, but I hope you know English too. Hi, who are you? My name is Janie. Okay, so the second time we got raccoons in the attic. Um, we had a little leak before, and it was fixed. The guy that we have that fixes things is named Nick, so Nick fixed it, and then we had the raccoons, and I didn't even know we had raccoons. All I knew was that our our attic, our roof was leaking so bad that it was like a waterfall, and it had never happened before. So I didn't want to wait. The insurance company wanted me to wait until they sent somebody out, and there was no way I wanted to live like that with buckets all over the place. No, no. So Nick came, he fixed the roof. I didn't even think they were going to fix. I didn't think they were going to pay for it anyway. So he fixed the roof, and then he went up with me. That's how we found out that the raccoons were living in the beautiful name, Vladimir, beautiful. Um, we found out. We looked up in the attic and saw this beautiful little face looking at us. It was a raccoon, and I think what happened was that the reason that we had the waterfall was the raccoon decided that this was a good house for her or him, and they moved in. And she was busy, fixing it up the way that she wanted it. So, so we had to get a company. They charged $600, and that was the old people's price, $600 to get rid of the raccoon. And I mean, and in a really nice way. They were going to take her down to another town so that she didn't come back and break into the roof again. And eventually she moved in. I was giving her some food because I wasn't going to have a dead raccoon up there or, starving. I mean, either she went in the crate or she didn't, but I wanted her to be at least alive. So I know that that's not the right thing to do, but I did. Okay, fine. So the um, Liberty Mutual this time sent out a real tall guy. He was about 6'4", um, who wore a cowboy hat, jeans, and he was not skinny. He was built strongly, if that makes sense. Not thin, not heavy, but tall, like not so, not this gorgeous guy, but at the same time, I wouldn't say he was a looker. He was just, remember, I'm an artist, so I'm very visual. Um, oh, and also, I want to be your other grandmother. And Putin. Oh no, Putin is evil. Anyway, so this guy with this cowboy hat is walking around the house with me, and I'm telling him all the problems we had with the water coming like a waterfall. And I show him everything, and I tell him this is where the water came down. He says, "No, this is old." I said, "No, it's not old. It was just fixed, and this is it." He says, "No, no, you're wrong." So he's telling me that I'm lying to him. I take him in the studio where I painted this. There's this beautiful room that we didn't build. The people who owned the house before us built it. It's a totally wooden room that 18 years ago had a little leak, and we fixed it, but we put back the piece of wood. And he says, "See, look at that. That was a leak you never fixed." I said, "We did fix it 18 years ago, 17 years ago, and we put the piece back." No, no, it was never fixed. I can tell it was never fixed. And I'm telling him the story, and he's just arguing. He's saying no. He's just like totally wiping out when I told him. So I called his supervisor, and the supervisor said, "Oh, I'll find out," with a southern accent. "I'll find out." Mrs. Poland, fine, I can't do a southern accent, but you can. The guy was doing this. He was really laying it on with molasses. So the next I hear from him, he says that he, without the southern accent, he believes this jerk who came out with the cowboy hat. And if I want anything, I should contact the state. So I contacted an attorney. I have this plan that's $30 a month. You always have an attorney. If you want an attorney, oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. God bless you. Okay. Um, okay. So called the attorney, the one $30 a month, and he said, "Oh, Liberty Mutual, they're horrible. You can't deal with them." Okay. He said, "But call the state because the state can investigate." Well, I did it. I wrote the whole thing up for the state. State doesn't investigate. Full of shit. Everybody's full of shit. Um, all they do is ask the insurance company to state what they think. That's it. That's the whole thing. And now, if I were younger or not, if I didn't have as much stress, now see that's what you have to avoid. You have to think about the stress that is okay for you and what isn't, what you want to take on and what you don't. It's okay for you to not take it on and for you to say, got to remember to say, I wish I could, but I can't. I can't take care of this right now. Understand that you do not have to do everything that people ask you to do. You don't. You have to watch out for yourself. So I called this independent adjuster. And if I didn't have the stressors, I would have used him. They actually investigate, and it can be something that the complainer has to pay for, but generally the insurance company has to. They were wrong, but I just didn't have the energy to go after them the way that they really needed to be. Now I do intend to change insurance companies. These people are, but I don't know that any other insurance company is better. I don't think so. I tend to think that they are all like that and that you have to fight to get covered for what happens. It stinks. It really stinks. You have to have insurance and then they fight with you. It's horrible. Okay, but it's the reality. Okay, hi everybody. And I'm really glad to see the people from Russia too, if that's where you're from. Um, oh my God, I gotta put glasses on. I forgot. Can't read it otherwise. Message retracted. Well, write to me. You don't have to, it's okay. If you feel that, you don't want to put that on the screen, fine. You can write to me and Grandma, get out of YouTube? No. Sorry that you don't like it. What you need to do is just change the channel. Understand? Um, text removed by the government? That doesn't seem right. Levi is telling me to get out of it. How dare you? Levi? What the hell? Why do you have a name Levi? Is that your last name? And you should not be telling me anything nasty because either you have religious maniacs as parents who gave you the name Levi or you're Jewish. And if you're Jewish, you're supposed to be warmer and have compassion. Be very loving to a grandmother. Not nasty. Definitely not nasty. Levi is it's an Old Testament name that basically belongs to the Jews. Yeah, just like I wouldn't call my son Jesus. What is PVE? See, that's so cute. Okay, if you want to know who I am, just look up, on Google. All right, that was all I really wanted to say. And welcome to the Russians. I really appreciate your being here. I'm, just like most of us Americans didn't vote for Trump. You don't have a chance. You don't get to vote for Putin. You just got him. He's a dictator. That means whatever you vote may not count. And Trump wants to be a dictator too. So, I don't know. You're mostly young people. Daniel, you can write to me. I'm curious about whatever you were afraid to say. Your stuff is so cute. Some of the stuff that you write is so adorable. Okay. Okay. I don't think that we don't have that much censorship in the United States, and probably we'll have less later. Oi? Are you from Carnero? Okay. I have a bad temper. Okay. So, okay. I'm glad that you all came. I mean, you do if you're renting an apartment or you own a house, you do have to have insurance. Stinks. That's the way it is. Okay. Time for me to go. I wish every single one of you a very good evening and happy day tomorrow. All right. I'm learning. Okay. Good night.